everyone. I'm delighted to welcome all of you to the 12th episode of SciXchange. Today's session promises to be truly enlightening, featuring a distinguished guest and a dynamic moderator leading to the discussion. To begin, it's my honor to introduce our esteemed guest for the day, Professor S.M. GiriRajkumar. Professor S.M. GiriRajkumar serves as the head of BEST Bajaj Engineering Skill Training Center in SASTRA. In this role, he leads hands-on skill training programs for engineering students, focusing on industry-relevant areas like mechatronics, robotics, automation, motion control, sensor technology, and smart manufacturing. With nearly 29 years of experience, he began his remarkable academic journey at SASTRA University in 1999 as a lecturer, advancing steadily to associate professor before being relieved from that role in November 2010. Later, he joined MAM College of Engineering, Tiruchirappalli as a professor and led the department until May 2013. Also, he has served as a professor and head of the Department of Instrumentation and Control Engineering at Saranathan College of Engineering, Tiruchirappalli, continuing in that leadership position until July 2025. With these 3 decades of teaching experience, he has held several distinguished leadership positions across reputed institutions. He made significant scholarly contribution reflected in his strong citation record of around 506 and impactful research in control system and optimization. We welcome you, sir. Now it's my privilege to introduce our moderator, Mrs.Athuzhai S., a research scholar from the School of Management, SASTRA University. She working under the guidance of Dr. S. Rahini, focused on spiritual intelligence and stress management. Apart from her research, she has choreographed dance for colleges and schools, judged dance events, and organized a world record with 300 artists at her dance institute in Kumbakonam. Let's extend a warm welcome to Professor S.M. GiriRajkumar and Ms. Athuzhai. To begin the session, let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you.
It's my pleasure to welcome you all for this inspiring session. When experience meets excellence and knowledge meets grace, we welcome you for this inspiring space. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, ma'am.
So, shall we start the questions?
Yes, please.
I think you have nearly 3 decades of academic and industrial experience. What motivated you to transform from industry to academia after working in South Indian Viscose Industry Limited?
Good. So to be very frank and honest, first and foremost, I would like to thank the organizers of SciXchange for inviting me to this particular forum. So the objective from my end is I am not interested in making tall claims. It's about sharing of what little I know in this world. So to answer to the first question, it's about why I transformed from industry to academia. Purely, I can say, truthful one, it's fate. As a youngster, we never have any idea about what the future is going to be. I got a campus interview. At that time, I decided that will be the end of my studies, as any normal individual will be concerned. And I got a good job. It was in campus interview. And later, I had to understand my family situations. I had to weigh down what was happening here at Trichy, which is my native place. Even though my parents have never insisted, I found that my due responsibility is to solve some of the priority issues in Trichy for which I need to come there. We were running a family business. There were some issues there. I thought that was my foremost duty to get it solved. Then I began to search for a job in Trichy. I did my search for almost a year. I found that nothing feasible was there, and then I had to switch over my career to academics. I had a good opportunity at SASTRA, then called as Shanmuga College of Engineering. So there was an opportunity then. I started my career in the year 99 at Shanmuga College, later to be transformed to SASTRA University.
So here I just want to welcome you again for coming into SASTRA University, right? So you rose to be lecturer, as you said,
yes,
to head of department. Which role specifically shaped you as an academic leader?
Obviously, it is going to be this is not a defined role. In whatever we try to do, when I started my career at South India Viscose, there are 2 ways of looking into any type of profession. One would be delivering what is exactly required, what is going to be the need. That's it. Finish it off and forget about it. The other would be try to keep in the extra step. While at South India Viscose, I used to take up some chargeability for some orientation programs, training the newcomers, etc. And later joining Shanmuga as well. There were the time when Shanmuga was getting transformed to Shastra. At that time, during the transformation, we had a lot of opportunities as a youngster. For example, to head up the committee for transport, logistics, accommodations. All these stuff is a small leadership role. I cannot say that any leadership role which is going to be tagged as head of the department or as a vice principal or as principal or head alone gives you an experience. It is all about some small role. Even now, you have some leaders among you. Some of the people take up the coordination work, some people take the organization works. So you work in some small teams. So those little roles will help you to come up to the future. It will give you the confidence. It will know about what is your passion. It will tell you about what exactly and where is your strength about. So in that way, I would give it back to Shastra. It is those opportunities which I had at Shastra shape me to have a confidence level for the future to take up any administrative role.
That's fantastic, sir. Just you're telling about your leadership role. So I just want to know what are the leadership lessons you did learn from by serving principal in charge.
Okay, that's a specific role. To make it specific, the role of principal, I had to take it as an official in charge for a few months when the then principal was not available. Actually, the principal is head of the organization, like what we have as a registrar in our campus. Here, whatever is going to be the legal authority, the head of the institution is responsible. It is not only pertaining to one particular department or one particular stream, academics. One aspect is academics for any institution. At the same time, equally important will be the finance section, administrative section, the utilities and services, the estate management section, the transport section, hostel and related affairs. All these together forms and comes under the one roof, wherein the head of institution is responsible. So at that time, it is imperative. The first thing what we have to do here is, we have to go into troubleshooting. Certain situations may need some quick decisions. Certain things we need to take it after some time. So it's all about decision making and implementation as quickly as possible.
Oh, so you're telling about a wonderful leadership role. I just want to know about how you balance these three, research, administration and teaching role.
Teaching happened to be a passion. Teaching is a passion. So even now, if you just try to go into anybody who is an academician or an administrator, even the Honorable Vice Chancellor of SASTRA University takes classes. The Dean Planning and Development, sometimes he has some classes. The Registrar is handling classes. We need to understand one aspect. Time is same for everybody. Even the US President, whoever it is maybe, time is the same. We have to find time. And when there is a passion, we can have time. I do believe teaching is a passion, and it's only when we talk to the students, we feel more relaxed. We find it is like a art of meditation. So we love to handle students, and it is they who are in the shop floor. And it is through them we can understand the weightage of what exactly is happening. Meeting students at their own place is something which is extremely important. So that's passion. Research, at one stage, research is something wherein you have to put in your hands-on experiences. You gain some knowledge. Beyond a particular stage, it is all about the team and the research scholars. Any good researcher, it's my opinion, will have to give credit to his research candidates, because they are the ones who work on the ideas of the scholar. If I have an idea, I may be having my priority of time to be spent in many other places. If that is going to be the case, I can get into a rhythm of frequency, into an harmony with my team, probably having a few members of my research team. Once I communicate to them, they will be in a position to take forward what my ideas are there and develop it. And then it comes into role of validating what they develop. Guiding them, no, this is right and that is not right. So in that time, what happens? The real research is going to be done by the candidates, and we would be only going there and trying to removing the obstacles or trying to help them in sharing the experiences and telling about the contacts and networks and telling about what could be the near future. In that way, the team is going to be very strong. The third component, administration, that's something which is unpredictable. Nobody knows how your day is going to be occupied. So for that, we need to grow some characters within us. In that particular growth, it is all about how we try to keep ourselves calm, composed, not forgetting about it. And once again, there, strongly believe it's about delegation, validation, and submission. That's how we have to take it forward.
Sir, as you are an recognized Ph.D. supervisor under the guidance of Anna University, what qualities that a good research scholar should have when they are doing research? Is there any particular qualities they should maintain?
The most important quality which I feel any research scholar, as a scholar myself, to be maintaining is honesty to the individual conscious. Your conscious note whether you have done an effective work for that day or not. Nobody else is a judge for you. You can convince, you can tell reasons, you can have excuses, you can have submissions. All these things is there. At the end of the day, your consciousness plays a very vital role. Be true to your conscience. That's number one. Number two, whenever you try to gather an idea, have a momentum towards it, convert it into a paper as early as possible. Even though it may not be having the approval of your supervisor, document the same. Why? Whatever you are doing now could be somebody else in some other place. So it's all about earlier the better. It's about parallel processing. What little I have learnt during this small experience of work and professional approaches, I strongly believe that time management is the essence for success. And more importantly, I will rephrase it into a different manner. Time management is directly proportional to your happiness. So this is how I feel. And in this particular regard, as a scholar, it's purely about playing a role of being true, honest, and then getting into the words, trying to get about what exactly is happening, validating your own work, because whatever you are doing, somebody could have traveled in that path. If you are able to identify that, you would know the pros and cons. That is why it is called as research. Of course, there is a different way of looking into research of getting into a product, getting into a patent, etc., wherein you have to toil out for more and more. That's a different type. In whatever you try to do, your passion is going to be more important. Yes, you will have some ups and downs. It is inevitable for anybody doing research to have only, they say it's only an uphill for me, probably something somewhere is wrong. There will be a psychological up, psychological down. There could be sometimes wherein you will be getting an afuba moment wherein one small trigger can make a difference. Never give up. Never ever give up. If you feel sometimes you're low, just come out of it, relax out, then get back. Never give up and try to be true. Both this with a good amount of plan and your guides focus on a scheduled pathway will lead you to a successful research scholar to a PhD holder. This is what is my suggestion. Honesty is very important. And as much as possible, your research supervisor will play a very important role. Why? In an institution, you have a lot of people to evaluate whatever it may be, where the research supervisor's role is very important. So the trust, you'll have to win the trust. Sometimes it may come within a small span of time. Sometimes it may take a longer span of time, but be patient. Never give up.
I think research only is about and traveling in a roller coaster, right?
Yes, of course.
So it's quite interesting. I think you guided 6 research scholar.
Yes.
Which research topic make you challenged most intellectually?
I had to do a topic with regard to MAC protocol. So that was some area wherein my predominant area was control system. That was happening to be in communication engineering. The scholar was in a crisis. Basically, we'll have to understand that we are more human beings before a research supervisor. If we do have projects, then I can guide upon that project. Suppose I don't have project, but it is a part-time research work to be done. wherein somebody needs to go on for academical caliber and growth. At that time, one of my scholar was in a huge crisis, wherein there were some problems. I had to accommodate him. In that sense, I had to touch upon an area which was not my commanding or authoritative area. I told the scholar, hey, come on, this is not an area. He said, sir, I will proceed. Probably you help me in guiding, validating, and trying to do that. At that time, even though he's going to give me a paper, I have to go through it, I have to study it, I have to understand it, I have to ask doubts upon him, I have to clarify it with my colleagues, and then take it forward for validation is concerned. At that time, I usually would not like to put research scholars' outcome as the last priority. It should be given within the time frame, because whenever it comes to time management, one important lesson is others' time needs to be valued. For example, when you go to a bus, the bus is supposed to start by 10 p.m. You go reach there by 10:02 p.m. It's not a delay of 2 minutes. If that bus is going to have 35 passengers, if it's 35 into 2 minutes, 70 minutes is a delay. So I don't have any rights to delay somebody else's time frame. As much as possible, you'll have to keep up the time frame. At that time, it was more challenging.
Sir, I think you discussed about your Ph.D. topic, right? Controller turning using
Optimization, non-traditional optimization. Yes.
Right. So, how it is emerging to this modern industry?
Actually, that optimization techniques is more to do with mechanical engineering than control engineering. I had to attend a class, optimization techniques. It was taken by a mechanical professor, Dr. N. Bhaskar, who happened to be my colleague as well as my teacher. There they were applying most of these optimization techniques towards job scheduling, job developmental aspects, in making the machine utilization to the maximum. It struck to us, why don't we use this technique for controller design? In controllers, there are traditional tuning techniques. I don't want to step too much into the research. It's a bad habit of anybody to talk at length. But anyway, I'll try to cut short it. There are more than 1,000 methods. But all these are analytically proven methods. We went into non-tradition, like genetic algorithm, which most of you may be knowing, ants colony optimization, bird flocking with PSO, etc. We tried to go and how it could be for the objective function in control engineering. Luckily, I was able to join hands with some of the good professors who were interested in trying to have a hybrid work then. Early 2006-07, they wanted to do a hybrid work. Today, in any aspect of engineering, multidisciplinary is the core ideology. So it struck us then. So it was a combination. It went into control algorithm. It was novel. We tried with nonlinear systems. We tried at NIT, and luckily my supervisor was in NIT. So he was able to even make some guidances and contribution. It clicked. It clicked with respect to time. That's what I can say. I was lucky in that way.
Sir, I think you having a H index of 11 and 500 plus citation. What would you advise the young research scholars to increase their research impact?
Once again, it's not about publishing a paper for the sake of publishing. You may have a passion, you can develop upon it. If you know the art of converting one paper to more than one, it means that you have good knowledge on that particular domain. And once you have the art of converting one paper to n numbers, that n should not be a variation only in the data. That should be a combination of some other system. If that is going to be there, innovativeness and novelty will come into picture. And predominantly try to have focus upon real-time data. Once you have a combination of a real-time data and this, well, that's going to be the need of the hour. And as scholars, you will be guided by your supervisors in multiple ways. Look into the recent areas, the recent citation. For example, you're going to try to publish in Taylor and Francis journal with some title. In that journal, what is the area they're focusing, how your contribution could be there and how it could make a difference? Well, that makes it.
Sir, I think what is the biggest reform you learned or you learned in the area of training and placement?
Yeah, to add to the intro given by one of the scholars here, I had to handle training and placement as well. It was a very challenging job. It was a challenging job, and I do not know till date whether it's a virtue or a sin. The meaning is to say yes. When there is a challenge coming upon, I usually accept the challenge. At that time, the training and placement head happened to go on a leave for 6 to 8 months. So it was a vacant space. They cannot appoint a new person. So I had to fill in that gap. It was a challenge. And the biggest reform what I did then was, I did understand mentoring student was a key. If mentoring is done properly, conversions are going to be phenomenal. So it's all about patting at the back, and the power of an experienced teacher is about mentoring. So if mentoring is going to be taken appropriately, things will go up. It gives us a confidence. It gives the student an idea. It just tells them on how to prepare. Predominantly, as our then president, the late president SL, students are not useless. They are useless. They do have some talent. Let us try to nurture it. Let us try to grow it. That's how we'll have to look into it.
Sir, now head of the best SASTRA University, how would you see that engineering students are evolving in this modern industry? Like skill-based, how whether they are skill-based, knowledgeable in engineering?
The biggest challenge what comes out now to the youngsters, especially to niche areas, is we have to match towards the demands. Teachers and administrative authorities will have to understand that the generations are changing. For example, we have some machines, and the developers of the machines tried to do it with button-based configurations. There was not too much of utilization. They found out when, how, why it is not. It is a lack of interest. And from then they went into touchscreen. Then the utilization was very high. It's not about that area. What I try to say here is, the youngsters have some hunger. They have something to be recognized. It is their cup of tea. We cannot say that you will have to do only what I have done 20 years back, 10 years back. We have to change towards a trend. Likewise, at best, we have a innovative reform. The reform is, here 70% is hands-on experience and 30% only it's theory. That is a catch for the youngsters. But when they come to the 70%, it's not easy. It is not a conventional laboratory wherein you just take some readings, calculate it. It is something wherein they have to put in their hands, learn about it. In that way, we find that they get interested. And once they get interested, they begin to learn more. It is in that way, skill development will have to come out. That's how it works out.
Oh, wonderful, sir. Sir, you studied electronics and instrumentation at Annamalai University.
Yes.
What sparked you to take particularly engineering?
Obviously, at that age, to be very honest, I tried for medicine. Unfortunately, in the year 92, they never went in for what's it going to be called as a combination of theory and entrance examinations. They declared only entrance. So my option of medical was lost. And obviously, the choice was only medical or engineering. So I had a seat. At that time, we had only 30 institutions. So among that, some people who were into engineering industry advised me for getting Annamalai, since at that time itself, Annamalai was more than 40 years old. It is a very famous institution. They had lots and lots of resources. So I thought we can take up a call there. We targeted into 8 institutions. So once again, I was unlucky. So I had to get into Annamalai. So I just got there.
As you say that you forcefully go for engineering.
It's not about forcefully,
But is there no option?
accept about reality.
Whether you enjoy the engineering journey?
I enjoyed the engineering life. Then I really had to do engineering only after graduation. That's a honest way. Yes, we did have a learning, but the most important thing is students age now. It happens. Even now it happens. It happens in such a manner that even though we know the importance of all those things, then we will not do it. Or probably we will only stick on to what we can do. Not 100%, we will go only to 40 or 50% maximum. That itself we consider it's a huge amount of hard work. Why? We have a myth that hard work is something which is not at all our cup of tea, and all the movie buff we used to say that college days is the most enjoyable days. So focusing on enjoyment would be the top priority. And honestly, today we have lots and lots of guidances in multiple forums. At that time, our resources were only seniors, somebody who would be in the form of good teachers That's all. Seldom we had the mentoring concept, etc. Teachers used to teach only if it is asked, they used to say. If not, they don't bother about it. Now it is different.
Is there any specific teacher inspiring you to?
Definitely. I have a handful of teachers, and among them, I would rate Dr. Srinivasan, who used to be, even now, I can say he is now not a teacher to me. He is a well-wisher to me, and moreover, he is my personal aspiration in taking some important decisions of life. It's one person I can quote, and the relationship came to me as part of administrative works only. As a student in the third year, now if I say some scholars and even some students who are there, it can be a little bit burning up their belly. We had an educational tour with only 2 or 3 hours for the industry, the remaining for 9 days, South India. When it comes to final years, it will be 16 days, North India. At that time, we would like to have teachers who would be getting into rhythm with us and saying yes to whatever we propose. At that time, senior teachers, they had some points and they said, for you people, the punishment is we will not try to accompany you for the tour. When no teacher is accompanying for the tour gets cancelled. These were the staff members who joined then recently. We approached them. They trusted us. That belief system, at that time I was the class representative, that belief system, what they made in us, made us to prove that we should not get into a bad name from them as they are taking a risk. So that made us to abide by what they say, and that's when good relationship grew. That good relationship cherished into some important decision making. That's how things turn out.
Can you share some memories from your school days, like vivid memories?
Vivid memories. When during my school days, I was involved in Interact Club, and in my school days, 11th standard would be the end of all administrative works. 12th, it will be only academics. They don't have it. At that time, we were in Interact Club. We had a novel idea. One professor, James Arikaraj, who's in charge of the Interact Club. I studied in a school called as Campion in Trichy, known for promoting extracurricular activities, and they would always try to ignite the minds of the students in the inner manner is concerned. They had a regular set of activities for Interact Club. We wanted to go on for something novel. We said, why don't we organize an inter-school cultural program? Funds were a problem. The school said, yes, but no funds. Meaning we'll have to generate funds at that age of 11th standard. Next, we had a passion. At that time, the school tried something innovative. The school timings, we were very lucky enough to have a timing from 8 to 1:30 between 1990 to 1992. We were the senior most at that time. That gave leverage of time to organize. We organized for 30 schools. It started as something called as CamFeet. I repeat, it started in the year 91 as CamFeet. 91, 92, we started that as a CamFeet as a program. Today, the same program is conducted for 3 days as Campofest in Campion. It's a state level incident or an event which the actor Sivakarthikeyan, who happened to be the alumni of that school, is also a guest, and now it has gone state level. Even though we don't have any inscriptions or whatever it may be, we know the truth. We know what it is. And still now we go to our school. Campion is a place which sticks to some forum. July 1st Sunday, we do have the Old Boys Association meeting. There we join. At that time, it reverberates. The juniors know about it. Every junior knows about what's happening, what has happened, wherever you are. Now the connectivity is different. But then, when we never had too much of social media, etc., seniors played a very crucial role. So at that time, our juniors still remember us. That's one thing which gives immense happiness.
You put a seed in that way to plant.
Not me, it was a team. Once again, it's a team. I honestly believe nothing is an individual's work. Everything, what you name, whatever it may be, there will be some dependency on somebody. The greatest of minds may say, I am a novelist, I will have to. He also will have to depend on somebody for typing, somebody to understand, somebody to print it, somebody to popularize it, etc. I'm a strong believer that we are not independent. We are all dependent on each other. Chaos theory. Right? That's happening.
Oh, wonderful, sir. Sir, is there any, I think you have regularly participated in cultural activities and NSS, NCC?
Organizing, not as a person who acts, But even that we did. One time we got prize also.
So how would you manage that extracurricular activities? I think you're pretty great.
No, I'm not a profound dancer or a singer wherein I'll have to dedicate a lot of time, etc. towards it. It comes in as it comes up as a crisis. One of my very good friends, he was too enthusiastic to gain popularity. So he gave a name and he got a bargain. For 25 minutes, we had to do a program. He got a group which can do only dance, right? But the remaining thing we managed with a skit. What do we do? At that time, A.R. Rahman was popular and he was getting popular. He said modern Ramayana with A.R. Rahman songs. So we had some songs taken up from A.R. Rahman and wherein we had to do some action on the stage. So the main person was to do the conversations and the mimic side of it. At that time, I did play the role of Ravana. And we changed the end of Ramayana. Of course, it is only for fun. We had to go in for disclaimer. In that case, the last song was in the movie Tirida Tirida, there was a song. Probably some of you would have gone and somebody nodded. Puttam Pudu movie name, Nittam Pudu Valke Venam. That will be all about money. So Sita decides to join hands with Ravana. That way we ended the program. So that's something which happened as a memory. So I cannot claim to be a proficient actor, but I can claim that I never have any stage fear. That stage fear was not okay. When nobody is saying, why not? What will happen at the end of the day? Friends will try to make a mockery of it. But it turned out to be different. We got a prize. So we had a lavish dinner on that particular day. Why? We spent all the money, whatever we got as a prize, on that day evening itself. That's the end of it.
What life lesson you learned from this type of programs or skit?
Never be hesitant about something for the sake of shyness and etc. is concerned. That should not be a decision maker. If at all we are going to look into what others are going to think about us, I don't think we can live our life. We could be ethical. We should be not, even a smile of us should not be hurting somebody. That's unethical. When you try to do something which never is going to be a hindrance for another person or the society or to the nature, why not? Try. That's it.
Wonderful. So what was the biggest problem you faced when you are a student and how you overcome it?
The biggest, I'm very open and honest here, as many of the predecessors for your SciXchange had been. I have gone through some of the same. In July 6, 1991, at that time I had to take up a two-wheeler. I had to get into an accident. The first time the two-wheeler was banging, I had to be economical with truth to my parents. 3 days after, we had a shop, we were running business. There was a court order wherein I was summoned for an accident. At that time I learned that was the biggest and toughest challenge I faced as a student. That's how it went in. That's during my school ages. I learned that honesty is the best policy. Even though I was economical to truth, had I told on this to my parent, probably would have solved the problem very easily. At the age of 17, 18, I was in court as one of the persons who had to be standing against the law. I had to fight it out legally. And college times, some of the most unforgettable moments were, it's a positive thing. During my third years, at that time we handled a cash of 75,000 without a single flaw. That's how we handle it. Why? At that time only my teacher taught transparency makes governance better. Once you're transparent, even though there is a small mistake, somebody else will point out. That makes things better.
So, shall we move on to rapid fire questions?
Sure. I think time management I also had to look into. Yes.
So the rule is about you have to answer in a one word.
Okay.
And the one sentence.
Okay, I'll take it as one sentence,
Yeah.
please.
Yes. Okay, sir. Research or administration?
Administration.
Chalkboard or smartboard?
Both.
Morning lectures or evening seminar?
Morning lectures.
Coffee or tea while reviewing research paper?
Nothing, as I don't take coffee or tea.
Oh. One word your student would say to describe you?
Initially tough, later unforgettable.
Oh. Toughest role.
Initially they will find it very hard to accept. Probably after a few iterations, they will understand me, and once they understand me, they will never have the trustworthiness from anybody else.
Toughest role, professor, HOD or principal in charge?
Obviously, principal in charge.
One invention you wish you have to create?
During my research time, I thought about a particular product which could be made. Unfortunately, it never clicked. That's a regret.
If not an academic, what career would you choose?
Industrial. I would have been an engineer. Probably I would have even retired if not.
Online teaching or offline teaching?
Definitely offline.
A research myth you want to break?
Never get carried away by what others think about your research work.
One book every scholar should read?
Tough times never last, but tough people do.
If students grade you, which grade do you get? Like A, B, C, D? Yes.
That depends upon, based on what the results I have so far, I have never got a feedback less than the top grades.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
It's time to
Yes.
give mementos for teachers.
No, she is wanting to say something else.
Is there any wanting to?
First of all, we'll have to thank the audience. I know how difficult it is to gather the audience because you would have different priorities and etc. I thank you for the same.
Does anyone have any questions? Please feel free to ask. Okay, then I will ask.
Please.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts and perspective as a teacher as well as a researcher, sir. And what visions or goals that you wanted to implement in Shastra, not in West, in Shastra, is there any futuristic goals or
A
visions?
day should come wherein students will be gathered inside the classroom only for sorting out their queries and nothing more than that. That will be the toughest role for a teacher. The toughest role is not to teach, it is to answer to the students' questions. So when the students are going to be prepared, then what happens is they will try to have more of queries made, and that will make the teachers to prepare much more better. In that way, the teaching, learning, research process will be much more enhanced. So this is what is happening in the Harvard, Stanford nowadays. They find out students to be extremely getting bored by the conventional way, so they are going into the innovative way. It will be more about interaction during the classes.
Thank you, sir. Thank
As a director of Bajaj, can you explain the successful mode of successful learning of Bajaj?
I don't have the authority to say that I am successful. Please sit down first. Success is not a term which we can take immediately. It is going to be an accomplishment which will have to be made. That's point number one. Point number two, what I would like to put forward is we are expanding. We are going in for new memorandum of understandings, and we have gone in for breaking a barrier wherein previously Shastra students were not be able to part of this. Now they are. And with the strong visionary aspects of the Vice Chancellor, we are able to take forward what the vision of the management is in the right direction. So now we are understanding, we are trying to run the show, we are operating upon it, and slowly we will be trying to put in more of ideas. That's reality. And now we are proud to say that it is a contribution wherein I'll have to give credit to all the stakeholders of Bajaj Engineering Skill Training at Shastra, especially the teachers here. Teachers in three categories: faculty, instructors, technical assistant, non-teaching. Everybody is a part of it. They have made a teamwork, and because of them, this center, wherein there are 8 centers in India, is rated always as the number 1 in Pan India. So we are maintaining it, and we want to set up a gap which will be something wherein it is not easily within the range to achieve by others. And I'm very proud to say that for the last 6 months, we have guests from IIT, we have guests from NIT, Bhopal, many premium institution BITS we had guests, and we had JSS Institute from Mysore. Across India, we have guests, and all of them have given positive feedback. That is how we are performing till date. We wish to outsmart the better people who are going to implement it as well. That's it. Now, success is a relative terminology. Success is always a relative terminology. I never believe in success. I believe more in passion. See, success, what is success for you may not be success for me. What is success for me may not be success for somebody else. Then who defines success? That's a relative terminology.
objective, we can achieve it.
Yeah. Please, ma'am.
So how will one fill the gap between the teaching and research?
Hands-on experience. And for that, the challenge for the current teachers is time management. Because previously, a teacher will have to do only one stuff, one lab. Now, the teacher not only is going to do teaching, he has to mentor, they have to do it for NB accreditation, they have to look in for NRF ranking, they have to publish their own papers in spite of getting that, and they have to meet up the target, they have to go through appraisal systems, they have to learn a lot, the syllabus is getting changed. Where will they find time? That is the biggest challenge. Previously, teachers and teaching was considered noble profession wherein there was too much of this. Now, teaching profession is becoming more challenging as well. That's it. We do not know when the foreign universities are going to step into India. When they come into India, things would be more challenging. Okay, that's the situation.
Remarkable sessions.
Don't add these adjectives. Remarkable, etc. should be decided by the people who are sitting there and not between you and me. These are all some flamboyant words which comes into the stage. Personally, I want you to thank for staying along with this and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I wish you have more intake from many other people as well. Thank you.